Simulator 22. It is great to be back down on the farm here, and we are doing a couple of things at the shop that we need to take care of while we're down here. Last episode, we decided that we would be doing some preparation, some field prep for oat in the small field and soybeans in the big field. And so in order to do that, I want to make sure we get as good a yield as we can. I'm also going to sell this windrower because as we've been here doing things, we're going to get 11,000 for it. And we're going to come in and we're going to purchase this guy at 13. This is a great size, 9.7 meters, great size windrower. And I think that it is well worth the extra $2,000 beyond what we just sold. If we want to go quickly and look at this same windrower, it's regularly $41,000, right? So I feel like we're getting a great deal here, and it's going to speed things up for us when the time comes to do some more grass work. And we'll be doing plenty of grass work in this series. So we'll go ahead and get that. And then the other thing that we're here for is a lime spreader. So this is going to be a problem because it looks like 45,000 is about the cheapest lime spreader we can get. And so I think that it might be time to go to the Mod Hub and check and see if I can find something that's maybe a little more reasonably priced. I did find two that seemed reasonable for us to be thinking about. A couple older looking kinds of mods that, for only 8,400 and 7,500 pounds seem more reasonable. So this is an inline dropper. So it's only going to go 3 meters at a time dropping, and it's only got a 1,500 liter capacity. Looks like we could add an extension to get to 2,000 liters. And then this one is a spreader. It's got an 18 meter width and a 5,000 liter capacity for $7,500. We've got a pretty big field there, and I am concerned about driving back and forth all the time. So I think we're going to go ahead and get this Lizard. I know that it maybe is, again, larger capacity, wider spreading width, and cheaper, but that doesn't feel necessarily super realistic there, but it's pretty cheap looking. So yeah, let's get it. And we'll go ahead and buy the lime while we're here as well. And we'll do that in the big bags of lime. So that's at 2,000 liters. So let's just go ahead and get 3 of those. And one of them is going to have to stay here, or part of one is going to have to stay here because, I brought the John Deere. We don't have a loader. So we'll go ahead and load up as much of the lime as we can, head back to the farm, and start spreading on our fields. According to the mini-map, all of our fields need lime. So again, 54, 56, and 57. We can pop over here to soil composition. They all need lime. So that includes our grass field. And then 54 already has a layer of fertilizer after the last mow. And of course, 56 has some weeds growing on it. So we're going to go ahead and lime all 3 fields. It's going to take a while. And it's probably going to take several trips back to the shop as well to pick up lime, because this is probably going to go pretty quickly across the field. It typically does, unless you're using precision farming, and I don't have precision farming turned on because it's a little bit of a pain to get all your maximum yields and stuff, and I don't totally agree with or understand how it's doing all the calculations. So I decided to just go with 2 layers of fertilizer, and we'll call that good enough. So let's go ahead and go down to the corner of the field over here. Oh, I still have that grass, or is that hay or grass? I can't remember. I think that's a big grass bale. We'll go ahead and come down here, and we'll start what are we spreading here? Lime spreading in this corner down here. 18 meter width. So again, I'm going to use my numbers down here and go, that is 1179. So if I back up and get my tractor on 1170, then we should be roughly right. Now, I think it's probably going to be wider than this. Like my experiences with lime spreaders in this game is that when it says an 18-meter width, it's much wider than that, but I could be wrong. So, yep, we're going to get on 1170, get going kind of parallel to the hedge here, see how far back we are. It's not bad. Go ahead and get the spreader a little bit more in line with us. And then back it up again, make sure that we're going kind of straight on 1170. Back on 1168. You can see what I'm talking about down on the mini map. Maybe, hopefully, probably depends on what kind of a device you're on. All right, here we go. Turn it on and we'll get going. I first need to open the slider. Well, okay, so we're not just going to turn it on. What the heck's that mean? I've opened the slider. Okay, so that's apparently a thing. Here we go. Let's try again. Okay, so even though this field says it needs lime, it's apparently not going to lime. All right, well, one less field that we have to do. Let's go ahead and head over here to our smaller crop field, and we'll get it limed up then. Thankfully, we've got this nice little pass-through right here. It's good to know about the grass field. I'm annoyed just my own issues of the map that we're never going to be able to get the lime turned off of that field, but that's okay. I could probably go ahead and edit it at some point and edit the files and just get her done. Okay, it's also not going now. Okay, well, we obviously have a piece of equipment here that I don't know how to use. So let's see if there's something I can figure out here. Looks like there's a conveyor, lower gauge wheel. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, let's go back to the grass field then. If that's the case, then maybe the grass field will take lime. And we need to go ahead and do it. So we're going to give it a shot. I bet this is riveting, isn't it? Watching me figure out how to work this. Here we go. Let's see if this will work now. Yes. All right. There we go. So the good news is I was not totally off there. That although now we're on 1190 instead of 1170. Now that's weird. Oh well. Anyway, we are working here. We're gonna have to run through lime. You can see just how fast it's running down, right? Like one pass here on this field is more than 10% of the lime load, and that is a pretty good chunk. So it's going to take a lot of lime to do all three fields, and that's going to be several trips back and forth to the shop, which is not great, but it's what we got to do, right? So I don't feel like I'm seeing lime there, so I want to check. Yeah, it's not taking. All right, well, we just wasted 16% of our lime in here. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, probably should have paid better attention to that earlier in that pass, but that's okay. So we're right. I was right the first time. The grass field will not take lime. We'll go ahead and get started on the other ones, though, and finish them up so that we can get good yields off of our crop fields. We'll just do the best we can in the grass. So I'm going to go ahead and time lapse here. Probably see a few trips up and back to the shop during the time lapse as well. So enjoy. took a lot more trips up to the store than I had kind of hoped, but the fields are limed and ready to go. So now when we take a look at the map, we're going to save the content. And over here, we see that, remember, 55 isn't ours. So 56, 57, and 54 are ours, but 54 won't lime because it's grass. So we are good to go there. Now, we were going to plant oat in the small field so we could put it in the ground, and then we're going to plant soybeans in the other one. But I think it makes more sense for us to wait until the spring to plant the oat. It's not typically an overwinter crop, I don't feel like. So we'll wait until the spring to plant both the oat and the soybeans. Now, what we need to do in the meantime, I'm going to leave this here. You can see I moved all our silage bales in here and doing a pretty good job for a while, and then I just started to toss them. Oh, this is silage. It's already fermented. Okay, I was not expecting that. We need to sell that because we have to get as much money as we can. Remember that our planter, if we could get that 220 horsepower tractor, our planter will, we can run it in one pass rather than having to cultivate and then seed. So we have now from mid-November until March to try and get enough money to get a 220 horsepower tractor. Pretty sure 220 horsepower is going to have to be in the medium tractors, but we can zip up here real quickly and just make sure. All right, so let's go to the medium tractors and let's just see how much money we're talking. This Fendt, but it's going to go up to, I mean, it's going to be more than that because we got to increase the horsepower to that 220. So we're looking at almost $200,000 there. This Landini wouldn't be bad. That would only be $167,000. So there's a good thought. This McCormick for $188 is a good looking tractor. I don't know that I've ever used a McCormick tractor in Farm Sim before. So the Landini and the McCormick appear to be the only two that are going to keep us under $200,000. And I think the Landini was what, 167-ish, and the McCormick was about 180. So I think we should go for one of those two tractors and see what we can do. That means that we have a lot of work to do because our balance is only $21,000 at this point in time. Now, of course, we can trade in a tractor. We've got the John Deere. It's 190 horsepower. And we've got the Massey hooked up to the bale trailer over there, which I can't remember exactly what it is, but we can take a quick look. It's 170 horsepower, so that's for 64, that's for 76, and of course we can get a little bit more by actually taking them down to the shop. If we got really lucky, we'd see a tractor come up in the sale, but I doubt we're going to get that lucky. I think what we need to do now is go ahead and load up these silage bales and take them to sell. I don't know how silage bales work on this map, but sometimes silage bales don't go by this price in here. So silage right now, if we take a look, will be at its highest price in January. So it's on the rise. And looks like it's 544. There's a 556, 557. And it looks like it gets up to 567. So even right now, these are really good prices for silage. So we could go ahead and run those up to Pine Creek bales or whatever. But sometimes silage bales will just sell at their own static price. I think that's true in the base maps, but I don't necessarily know that that's true on a mod map like Court Farms is. So, yeah, let's load that up. Let's see how much money we get. I think this is 11 or 17 bales. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe it's 25. Like I said, 25. All right, let's go get the Massey and let's go get these loaded up. We have 17 bales on the trailer, and we will see what happens when we come through our sell point here. I do want to just check and make sure that I know, how much is actually being made when we unload it. So let's see what those numbers look like. So if we take a look at our finances now, we'll see that we have some sold bales income of 33,962. So let's just take a quick look overview. We were 557 pounds. We had 17 bales at 3,500 liters each. That's a total of 59,500 liters. So we'll go 59.5 times 557, and we get $33,141, or well, pounds, sorry. So we are just over that actually with the bales. So pretty close to getting that same silage price. That's good to know. All right, we're going to head back up to the farm. I noticed something as we were walking around earlier that we need to take care of, and that's that the chickens are completely out of food. So I'll see you when we get to the farm. And when we're walking around looking at the silage bales earlier, I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but the chicken information did pop up, and it said that they were at 0% health and had zero food. So the reason they're at 0% health is because they have zero food, and really the only consequence of that is they're not producing eggs. And I have noticed that it didn't seem like we were getting any more eggs, so that would be why. We'll go ahead and hook up, grab some wheat out of our silo, get those chickens fed, and we have one more task that we're going to do today that I want to get done in November. So I do have the months set to 1 day only. You can actually set your months up to like 31 days or something like that, 30 days, whatever it is. Like you can basically play it real time, a month a day. I've got it set at 1 month for 1 day. So we change seasons really quickly and things like that while we're getting started out here. But that means that we basically need to treat this like we're in sorry about that, hitting that wall while we talk. We're in like mid to late November, right now. So it feels like we're doing a lot in 1 day, but we're doing a month's worth of work. A month's worth of work in 1 day is what's really happening, right? So what I'd like to do is I would like to roll the grass field because you wouldn't do that in December, right? Like I feel like that is something that we should be doing in November. It will add a fertilizer stage to the grass, and that's just not something that you would do in December. I feel like that's something that we should do here in the fall, November, in preparation for what would be our first cutting in the spring. And so I'd like to get that done after we feed the chickens. I want to take care of our livestock here before I do that, though. I feel like they don't take very much wheat. We get this whole thing and they take hardly any. But we are going to need to start paying a little bit closer attention to it. It's only 750 liters for all of the chickens. And it's going to go fast, I feel like. So we'll just be careful. Yeah, see that? We haven't gotten any more eggs. Since we looked at those, last episode before. So we're going to have to pay close attention to the chickens and just make sure that we're feeding them on the regular. Okay, I'm going to go put the roller probably on the John Deere just because it's got a little bit more horsepower. This Massey is having some problems at times. So I'm going to go throw the roller on the John Deere and we'll jump over into the grass field in front of us there and go ahead and get it rolled up for our final work today and our final work in November. All right, so I've done just a little bit here to show you what the roller does in the grass field. We do have a stage of growth here. So if we look at the mini map, we'll see that we've knocked it from ready to harvest down to growing, a stage in the middle kind of. If there wasn't a stage of growth here, would do the same thing that it's currently doing. It just wouldn't knock out a stage of growth, because what it's doing is it's adding a layer of fertilization. And so this outside edge that we didn't mow the last time, I didn't quite get out to the very outside edges. It's going to have the first layer of fertilization, and then everything else will have a second layer of fertilization. So we'll just run this around the field real quickly and get that second layer of fertilization. And this field will be ready to give us a maximum cut in the first cutting next spring, right? Which is why I want to get it done in the fall here. So then December, January, February, the grass is growing, and we are ready for a good solid first cut as early in the year as we can, in the hopes that we can work our way towards that larger tractor with a really good silage pull off of this field. So I'm going to go ahead and get this done, and I don't know if I'll time lapse the whole thing or maybe just do some short cuts. We'll see. I don't know for sure how much time I have left in the video, so hope you enjoy whatever you're about to see. Making the final passes here with the roller in the grass field and cleaning up the little bits that I missed and things like that. So we have hit late November here, and just in time we are finishing up the work that we need to get done in the fall. So that is a good timing, I'd say. And about that's going to bring us to the end of the episode here as well. So we got a lot done. We went ahead and limed the fields. We've been back in the grass field doing a little bit of grass work here. And of course, you know, the chickens are probably pretty happy that we went ahead and got them some food as well. So let's keep an eye on them. And there we see that the field has gone ahead and turned over to the fully fertilized. Let's keep an eye on the chickens. We'll take a quick look. See, they're already down to 687 liters. So we will want to, like I said, just keep a really close eye on them as we turn the month over from November to December in the next episode, and just make sure that they get some good food. In fact, feeding the chickens and making sure that they are healthy may be just about the only work that we have to do in December and potentially January, because at this point, once we get past November, we won't be able to do any planting
until March. So the fields are going to sit for a few months here, but the chickens are still going to need fed. So we'll keep a close eye on them. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you'll be back next time right here on Court Farm. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and keep growing.